Welcome in the ring, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome to each and every one of you. We happy you all are here this evening. We happy you all are good. We happy that you all are well. Good to have each and every one of you in the ring, good folks. Y'all know how we see it. We are live and we're in the ring. Good to be here with you this evening, wherever you're joining us from. Share that live, folks. Wherever you're joining us from, smash that emoji button, folks. Wherever you're joining us from, partner with us as well, because you all know by now we don't run on water. It's so good to see some of our favorite folks already on the live, smashing that emoji button for us. So good to see each and every one of you. Pace and power, folks. Pace and power. You all know how we do it. You all know how we say it. How are you folks doing out there? Where are we tonight, folks? Where are we this evening? As I was saying, good to see so many of you on our live broadcast. If you share that broadcast for us, it's going to do us the world of good. Please and thank you. Please and thank you, folks. Look how many of you here already. Look, the names flitting by. How are you folks doing? How are you folks doing this evening? Everett Small, Naomi Jones, Norma Jones, rather. See you there, Norma. And all the other guys who are joining us, whichever page you're joining us from tonight. If you're on the APNU AFC page, you're on the Christopher Jones page, you're on our main Facebook page at Credible Sources, you're on our main YouTube channel, folks. Share the live and smash that emoji button as well. I'm pleased to tell you all we're about to hit 20,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, and it's only because of you beautiful folks. It's only because of you beautiful folks on our YouTube channel, and you haven't subscribed tonight. You haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel as yet. I think you just might be a little wicked, right? I'm not totally certain. I'm not totally certain, but you just might be a little wicked. Folks, thanks for joining us again. Smash that emoji button. Make sure you click that. Ensure that you click that subscribe button if you're joining us on our YouTube channel, folks. When we started with just a couple of us here, now we have our subscribers to our YouTube channel, and that's a big deal for us, folks. Welcome in the ring to each and every one of you, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Look, it's up there, folks. Look, it's up there. Ensure that you smash that emoji button for us. Good folks, ensure you smash it. It's up there. That's that's what the YouTube channel looks like. That is what the YouTube channel looks like there, folks. And all manner of things happen today. Let me bring you all in at the deep end. Right off the bat, all manner of things happened today, good folks. Welcome in the ring again to each and every one of you. Yep. All manner of things happened today. Look, one of the things we saw today, there was this fire. There was this fire we saw on Crow Street, folks. This fire we saw, of course, of unknown origin. We still don't have a report out of the Ghana Police Force or the Ghana Fire Service on this, but we saw this building on Crow Street, close to Albert Street. A house or two, a building or two away from Albert Street, on fire today. Thankfully, the Ghana Fire Service was on site and they were able to contain the fire to this building that you're seeing. This building that you're seeing here. We don't have a sense as yet if there were any persons in the building at the time that it was on fire there. As I said, we don't have any reporting out of the Ghana Fire Service yet on this, but we're still following it, folks. We saw the Ghana Fire Service or firemen on the scene and seemed to have control of things. The house looked a little abandoned too, or maybe it was just because it was gutted by the fire. Again, we don't have the full reporting on this, folks, and it's something that we are looking at. But good to have each and every one of you, as we've said, on the live tonight. That's one of the things that we're looking at, and that's not even the opener quite yet, because Paul Slow is still on this whole issue about the Cybercrime Act that they want to expand. Of course, you know the news position on that. You know the Alliance for Change's position on that. And let's take a listen to some of what Paul Slow has been talking about this on this one. The Cybercrime Act, that's the tool of choice, the weapon of choice to come after their political opponents. Paul Slow, the former Assistant Commissioner of Police, senior policeman Paul Slow.
Retired Assistant Police Commissioner Paul Slew has added his voice to the stated move by the government to amend the cybercrime legislation. Last week, Attorney Nigel Hughes accused the government of criminalizing slander. Slew feels that the legislation is severely abused.
A soldier speaks something, it's a cybercrime. Sherrod Duncan, Member of Parliament, referred to a man as a trench crop who he made a mistake, he's charged with cybercrime. Annette Ferguson, another Member of Parliament, said something about the current Chief of Staff, Umar Khan. He made a report that it affected him, cybercrime.
Both cases were tossed aside by the courts.
It is being weaponized. Soldier says something, it is cybercrime. You're referencing the amendments that are likely to be made shortly. One would recall about 2 years ago, the Attorney General, the current Attorney General, Nandalal, said that the Cybercrime Act would be repealed. Now that this government has returned, the PVP government, it is on steroids. As soon as you say anything, it is a cybercrime. As soon as you say anything, they get the police. And not only the police, because the system, the DPP as well.
Slow said that lawyers and human rights advocates should examine the proposed legislation very carefully. He said that this proposed legislation should be opposed.
What happened to the libel laws? What happened to the slander laws? I've always said, if a person libels someone, or if they make slanderous statements, the laws are there for the individual to take civil action against that person. But for the government now to pass law to criminalize such behavior, it just is the design is to silence what the people they refer to as critics.
He said that there is one aspect of the amendment that targets people in any part of the world.
So if you're in the United States, if you're in the UK, if you're anywhere in the Caribbean, and you make a post about someone in Guyana, then they are trying to give the police in Guyana the authority. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? That if you are in America and you make a comment critical of the government, they are now saying that the Guyana police force, that is the understanding when the amendment is made, that the Guyana police force would have jurisdiction to deal with you wherever you are.
Slow said that from what's being said, he's certain that many of the clauses are unconstitutional. Retired Assistant
That's what we're following, folks. Thanks for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us, good folks. Welcome in the ring. Welcome in the ring, those of you who are now joining us. Welcome, welcome, welcome to each and every one of you on the live tonight. Y'all know how we sing. Good to see so many of you joining us. Look, all the names flitting by here. They don't want us to be great at all. We got Linda Booker is here, and Redman Alexis is here as well. Erwin Don Cook is here too. Bantu King. Sheena Hazel, how you doing there? Dolly. Good to see you there, Dolly. I want to get through some things very quickly. I see Marcus is here too. Owen, good to see you, Owen. Owen Bacchus, Gail Alicock, good to see you there. Sister Mercy, haven't seen this name in a little bit, but good to see you here tonight. Donna and Evelina, John and Sandrine, good to have all of you on the live. Look what's happening, folks, at the International Court of Justice. You all know that South Africa brought this case against Israel concerning the war in Gaza, that some of it, it's just too much for South Africa to countenance all the people being killed there, and they believe that some human rights were also being violated. Good folks, sticking to its conscience, South Africa brought this case against Israel. Now they're telling us Israel is lobbying members of Congress to have South Africa drop this case. Is that right or wrong? I didn't understand this, but this is how international affairs happen. Israel lobbying members of Congress to press South Africa to drop its legal procedures. I don't think Israel wants to be embarrassed on the international stage. This man is trying to force South Africa's hand here. We watching it, folks. We're watching it. Look what we're following. Closer to home, folks. Venezuela. Sanctions. I can't even wait. Sanctions, folks. Sanctions. In Maduro backside. Sanctions. Yep, look what's happening next door. 16, they say, Maduro's close allies were sanctioned quite recently by the United States of America. Yep, by the US of A. Sanctions. And this is over, of course, what they're calling the recent election that happened there, July 28th, I think it was. That elections that the Maduro regime said that they have won, right? You know, the leader of the opposition there, Edmundo Gonzalez, fled to Spain recently. On the heels of that, the Americans saying, we're not having it, we're not having it. So they impose sanctions. It says you can't travel, you can't do business with US companies. You all know by now the whole gamut of it, because you know some folks at our end themselves, PPP, come under severe sanctions. So something we know at the back of our now. Folks, good to see so many of you on the live today. I think we're almost home. Is we there? Good to see Erwin Don Cook on the live and Donna Daly on the live. Gail Alicock is here. Annette Sonia Sargent. John Ann is here too. And John. Yonit Elias is here as well. Yep. 592. A lot of things happening. BJ had a press conference today, spewing a set of lines against the lines to change the PNCR, the People's National Congress reform. You know, but I think all of this was meant to sidetrack, to distract from what is happening there at the Guyana Marketing Corporation and the Ministry of Agriculture, the millions of dollars in corruption, unaccounted for funds and so on. Yep, that is what some of it was about, trying to distract from that. Folks, as we come into the things we're following locally, Nigel Hughes was at a radio program this morning, and he had some thoughts. You know, we come into some shoddy work later on happening in Linden and some other stuff happening in Linden. Coming to that in a little bit. But first, some of what Nigel Hughes said on this morning program with Bobby concerning the shoddy, sink wicked, kungs nastiness work that they're doing. Take a look, folks, and take a listen. We're in the 592.
Attorney at law and leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, is lamenting the extent of shoddy work that's being passed off as completed contracts. He was making his views known on a morning radio program on Thursday.
What is happening here in terms of infrastructure, the quality of work that is being done, is completely unacceptable, and that there's a high level of corruption. Now, with corruption, the country loses twice. First, if the contract is $100 million, then you got to pay 30% commission to whoever the government official is. So you end up with 70% of the value of that contract being left to do work which was required for 100% of the money. So that's the first loss the country suffers. The contractor now has only 70% of the original contract price available to meet the specs that were in the contract. It is clear that he is not doing this for free, so he has to make his 30% or his 20% profit. So the only thing that suffers is the quality of the work. Because
the country ends up with a poor quality product. The government must spend money again to repair, and the cycle is repeated. Of note is that the contractor wouldn't sacrifice his profit.
So effectively, this is such a funnel of moving money from the government coffers into those persons who get their cut, into contractors who, because they have to pay the cut, now have to give you poorer quality work, and we, the citizens, end up driving on a poorer quality road.
Hughes pointed to the Soos-Dyke-Linden Highway that was built in 1968. It stood up for nearly 30 years.
The Heroes Highway, if you drive on it, and particularly when you drive over the bridges, you end up going up in the air. So all these crazy trucks we have and these young people driving at fast speeds, when you hit that bridge at that speed, that is a dangerous situation, because if you are going too fast, you actually become airborne. Now, that's a brand new highway built in 2023, and it certainly is not the standard, it's not compliant with any international standard.
Hughes also spoke about the Schoonard Highway, which was commissioned less than 2 months ago.
But the Schoonard Highway is particularly bad because one section of that highway that was built by a company, there were 26 or 27 contractors who bid for that particular lot. 26. Every other contractor was eliminated, and that one company was left. And guess what? That company did not get that contract at the official engineer's estimate. It got it at $500 and $600 million above the estimate, the contractor's estimate.
He meant the engineer's estimate.
Now, people in Guyana, I think perhaps because we've had such a long period of deprivation, once we see light on road, we get excited. Doesn't matter what the quality is. Doesn't matter that it will not stand up for 6 months or 2 years. We just get excited. We got a road. And that is a very sad commentary on us because it means that our standards are so low as a result of being deprived for so long that now we would accept anything.
All right, that's some what we're following, folks. Welcome back. We're now in the 592. We're now here. The other ones we come here. There's so many things we got to deal with, folks. The shoddy roads. My God. Fed up of it. Fed up of it. But these things don't make the press conference of the General Secretary. You want to talk about Cathy Hughes. You want to talk about Nigel Hughes. You want to talk about Albert Norton. You want to talk about Sherwin Hole. I see the trying with Sherwin too. We got the whole thing for y'all tomorrow. We'll have the whole thing for you folks. Look some of what we're following at this end, as we told you. If you're now joining our program, look at some of what we're following at this end, folks. My Lord. Never an easy moment. Never an easy moment. Where are we with this? Where is we here? We're in the right place? Yep. Signs of the times, folks. Signs of the times. I actually should have maybe started the other place. Let's start here first. For those of you now joining us as we started this evening, we alerted you to the fact that there was a fire today on South Road, close to Albert Street, on Kroll Street rather. Kroll Street and South Road run parallel to each other. Oh, we always mix them up. This was on Kroll Street, close to Albert Street, which means it's on the other side of the road. It wasn't South Road, but close to Albert Street. Fire of unknown origin. We don't know if person during the building when it caught on fire. It looked to us as not like an abandoned building, but somebody had to be there to start fire, something of that nature. But we're waiting to see a report out of the Guyana Fire Service. But the police force is also on the scene there, waiting for an official report as to what caused this fire. Thankfully, the Guyana Fire Service, who's just up the road now, they're just up the road at the other end, they responded and were able to contain this fire just to this building. Yep, some of what happened there today, folks. That's the fire report every day. Y'all know the whole thing. That's some of it. Run with us, folks. Share the live for us and smash that emoji button. And now let's head to where we wanted to go. Signs of the times. I told you, once you come into 592, get set for it. Put on your helmet. Walking around with the hair looking like Kazoo. You remember Kazoo from the Flintstones? Body of a female, only name given as Debbie, was found in a guard hut on the Merriman's Mall today, folks. On the Merriman's Mall. And look, I am so saddened by how this government has allowed the Merriman's Mall to fall down. To fall right down. All this money, high income country, massive growth economy, people dying out here like nothing. Debbie, that's the name that the victim was given at. And what is quite strange, folks, in this report, they said Debbie and the fella were living in this guard hut. Like, I couldn't even believe it, but I had to believe it because that's what the folks said. Debbie and the fella living in this guard hut. The name of the fella, I think, was given as one, Troy Williams, an unemployed man living in this guard hut. That's how people got to get by in this country, you know. Cost of living is so sky high. Some of us is a thin line between the house here right now and being on the streets. But these things don't make the Voice President's press conference at all. They're telling us that Debbie's body bore no visible signs of violence, and that body is now at the Memorial Gardens Funeral Home awaiting identification and a post-mortem examination. You know, this is the times we're living in, folks. We don't have to look far. Decay, miasma, confronting us every single goddamn day in this country. Folks, pardon my language. I apologize. These things get a little heated. Brother from another mother been Troy Jordan said at the morning program. It's getting a little heated. We're not content with these jagabats and trench crappos all the time. But our thoughts and prayers with this lady who transitioned in this way. Horrible, in a hot, Troy Williams is said, found her unresponsive, alerted the EMTs. They came, pronounced her dead. Yep. Thoughts and prayers there, folks. Moving on. It doesn't get better. Doesn't get better. Look what happened today. I think this is one that takes us to, Mays on Sheriff Street, and I think in Sir Brianville, had to be evacuated today. They said a transformer that is attached to the school, exploded. And as a result of that, some of the electrical fittings at the school started to spark. But following the drill, following the protocol, they evacuated both teachers and staff there at the Mays Secondary School. There were no injuries. Perhaps the children are a little bit traumatized, but outside of that, all safe and sound, folks. All safe and sound. Right? This is what GPL doing to people. When the birds and it now the wire there in Region 6, you got transformers exploded. Folks, Cash, I know what he's doing at GPL. But this is what happens when you put friends, family, and favorites. Mays had to be evacuated. Folks, like Mays ain't getting a chance. There's one thing to the next with Mays. I heard they're under new management of recent, I don't mean to talk ill about the school or anything like that, but those are the facts. We've heard a lot in the past. Mays is not always good. I heard recently that they're under new management now, like they've been bought out. We're watching to see what is the new dispensation. But as the school term starts, we got sparking school outlets thanks to exploding transformers. Yep. That's what's going down with the 592, folks. Never dull moment. Never dull moment. We all joining us from tonight. Good to see so many of you on the live tonight. On the live. For your information, good folks, gentlemen, I know, in this particular story, I could imagine Robeson has been salivated. It's the new FC. It's bugged him in the States. Gentleman called several places and made bomb threats. They found him, a 40-year-old taxi driver. The situation with him is very, very fanciful. Very, 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 very fanciful. A woman came in his taxi at X point. He took her to Y point. She made a proposal for $15,000. Not US. Not US. $15,000. He called about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 places and made bomb threats. Right? They said it was a Venezuelan national. It was a person who made this indecent proposal to him. We need, as a country, we need our own series on Netflix. we need our own series on Netflix. Never got a dull moment in this country. Never dull moment. Right? Never dull moment. What is the penalty for making threats like these? What is the penalty? That's what I want to know. His name is given as Travis Damian Francis Roberts, a 42-year-old taxi driver of Georgetown. Georgetown. See, the bomb threats were made to the Marriott Hotel, Caribbean Airlines, Shelly Jagan International Airport, the Guyana National Stadium, perhaps among other places between August 31st and September 1. Why would you want to do something like this? Roberts admitted, as I said, making the threats, claiming he was paid 15,000 Ghana dollars. Ghana dollars. By two, I missed one, Venezuelan nationals to do so. His cell phone records confirmed that the threats were made from his number, and he remains in police custody, assisting with investigation. I could see them boys salivating, looking for the most tangential connection to happen to say, hey, it's them put you up to through these Venezuelan nationals. Folks, we got to be careful out there. It's a crazy time in our country. The more money, the more madness we're seeing. You see it in Trinidad, you got a closed case. The more wealth the country gets, the more bizarre some of these things become. Yeah. 15,000. I wonder how much bail can be if he gets bailed. I wonder how much that can be. 50 Ghana dollars. Folks, I tell you, things tight out here. Who got money, got bargain. That's one of the things we're falling at. One of the things we follow. Look, a lot of y'all pouring in the people country. A lot of y'all pouring in to the UK since the people did away with the visa requirement. A lot of y'all pouring in the people place. But look, if it's one thing, all right, let me give you this story first. before I add my twist in. Before I had my box packed, ready to go, $800,000 ticket, or it's like $100,000. Fired up and ready to go to the UK. Are you? Are you? Well, the folks got another requirement. It's too much at the end the all starts. They said they don't want to see the likes of Bordness. They don't want to see the likes of Bordness, so they've implemented what is called the ETA. This is a new requirement. You need now an electronic ticket authorization. Don't think you're pouring it by Buckingham Palace in your droves. You have a squat there. Don't do it. So from January of next year, folks, from the 8th of January, Guyanese citizens will need an electronic travel authorization to enter the UK, even though they have ended the visa requirement. Yep. They said this is a new digital requirement that applies to travelers from 49 countries, including Guyana, and it costs £10. £10. So add that to whatever's the ticket money, and it allows multiple visits up to 6 months each, and is valid for 2 years until that mechanism, that passport, expires. Yep. So you're watching that, folks. We're watching that. You can unpack your bags. Nice. No, somebody else said $10. Me paying. Me paying. That's a show money, folks. One of the things we're following. New requirements, new requirements. New requirements, good folks. Yeah. Look at this one now. We know the whole thing. we know the whole thing of a lot of things around these parts. We know the whole thing of a lot of things around these parts. One thing we know is that how unprofessional, lots of instances, they gather. A police force has become, and again, former senior policeman, former assistant commissioner of police, Paul Slow, has been pointing this out relentlessly. He always has his gaze on the Ghana police force, among other places, trying to keep them boys on the straight and narrow. Some of them determined. They ain't got time with that, right? Paul gonna have his say and they're gonna have his way. He's telling us in their space, but unprofessionalism. Part of what Paul Slow says is like it serves the government, to keep the Guyana police force in this state and not to really and truly professionalize it. Because a professional police force will operate differently. Take a look, take a listen to what Paul Slow said recently, folks. Take a look.
The police force is weaponized more than ever. And I think the government wants that, so that when they want to go after the political opponents, they don't want to have a professional police force, because a professional police force or professional officers will refuse to carry out certain unlawful instructions, as I did back in 2003.
That was retired Assistant Police Commissioner Paul Slow. Slow remained in that position for 11 years, largely because of political machinations. The issue in 2003 was the case of the late Minister Ronald Gajraj ordering Slow to return a firearm to a man who was being investigated. Slow said that the government is happy with the less than professional police force.
The government, they have no inclination. They don't have the political will to make changes, because that they believe that will be to their detriment. If you have a professional police force, they're not going to get away with all the things they're getting away with. For example, the Damlal issue, both issues involving Damlal, if you had a professional police force, that matter would have been properly investigated and he would have been charged.
He said that there is the converse. The government can use the police to trump up charges against people perceived to be in the political opposition.
Any change you're going to have is cosmetic. The people at all levels are not adequately trained. That is another issue you have. They're promoting people, incompetent people that is on steroids now, where people are promoted because of their political loyalty. You have, and I'm not going to call name now, but if they want to challenge me, I'll call names. You have a slew of senior people in positions that they have not been trained. They don't have the slightest clue as to how those things, how you should operate in that position. You have commanders who should never ever be commander because they lack the knowledge, they lack the experience, and all of that.
He said that the simplest of crime files is sent to the Director of Public Prosecutions. These were often dealt with by the police.
It is my view that given the configuration of the top of the force, talking about branch, let's say from the commissioner all the way down to maybe superintendent, it is a difficult task for them to identify a cadre of senior officers who can turn things around. You have one or two, you have some good police officers, no doubt. But this is not a one-man show, cannot be a one-man show. You have to have a cadre of competent professional officers in order to change this spiraling downward trend.
Yeah, folks. I tell you, Paul know the whole thing. Paul know the whole thing. Not some bit, The whole thing, Paul know. Folks, this country is like the wild, wild west. The wild, wild west. And that's why you got such a breakdown in law and order. Despite what Anil Nandalal wants to say, despite what the other one looking like Bordness who's work at what the place name again? He now advising the minister on something. Despite what they say, they're vexed with Professor Ramcharan, who said that we are exhibiting tendencies of autocracy here. That got them in a bind. Right? It's a wild, wild west. I saw somebody or person or persons plural in Casino housing scheme shooting up indiscriminately. That is the wild, wild west. If you ever need a definition, I saw at a school in Maibakuri, during school hours, children are there at the primary, secondary school, and people fogging, right? They tell us that the students were coughing, eyes were burning. This is mad. This is madness. This is madness. How come these things don't make the voice president's press conference? How come you got kids in a nursery school, primary school, and people decide this is the day one fog. Day one fog. You all see some people had bore. Some people had bore. I tell you all, once we come in the 592, yeah. We know the whole thing. The whole thing. Them boys say you could have tent. Hold on. I know some young go wild now, I know some young go wild now. This is according to Inspector Garvin Boyce. He said 10% is not the problem if you read the legislation properly. He said 10% is not the issue. It's the level, the depth of the tent. That is the problem. That is the problem. That's the whole thing. He said visibility. Again, this is according to Garvin Boyce. Inspector Garvin Boyce of the Georgetown Traffic Department. Visibility must be maintained. That's what he clarified recently. The tent is legal in Guyana as long as the occupant of the vehicle are visible to law enforcement. I want law enforcement to be visible to me too. Tent itself, the reports indicate Inspector Boyce said, Garvin Boyce, law enforcement must be able to see inside the vehicle. Right? And there are restrictions on the levels of light penetration. Here the scientific way we're going on. Light penetration and also window screens cannot be tinted. Some people don't get time to lie, Some people, for them, is who they know. It's who, it's a wild, wild west country we living in, folks. Yeah, tent is not illegal. Boys clarifying there. Yeah, we can post an article so y'all can print it up. And when they stop you out with you all see through then, you can tell them boys. Boy says that tomorrow somebody coming for contradict poor boys stuff. Watch for it. Watch for it. The country contradictions. We got a country of contradictions. Taking bread out of people's mouth. Government's everything nice in this country. Everybody happy. Truck drivers by Rumville want a little 2x4 to park the trucks, supply the trade down there by Gaffur sides. They're moving them off the carpet now. folks, folks, this government, like they thrive. They thrive on confusion. They can see people that good, you know. They can see people that good. They gotta come and upset you. Instead of moving the folks off of the park there, it's illegal, they say, the park. This is in the vicinity there of DSL. It's illegal to park the trucks in that park there. And so they have moved to move the drivers from that area. Yep. Not a story. Not a story brewing here now. We'll keep you all posted on that. We'll keep you all. You know, so when the people buy the material down there at Gaffur's, the wood, whatever it is, they traded the paint at Torganol, Continental, and so on. You know, they got a truck and stand by there. They're moving them from there. Where they gonna put them? You know, that's all you see, breaking down and removal. They never come in with a plan to say, oh, we identify this spot here, y'all could step over this area here. You would never see that. Right? But to dislocate people, easy pickings. So they're moving those guys. You're watching it. We're watching it. There's a very important health conference about to happen in the Caribbean. This is the Kushat 49th Council of for the 49th Council for Human and Social Development is happening in the region, and the preparatory work is already being done. And I mention this because some very important issues are going to be discussed here. We must not only look to the WHO, we must not only look to, what's the other one, PAHO and so on, but closer to home, we got to develop ourselves, you know. You know, this region is too long. We're here as a CARICOM country, and we're as a CARICOM community, and we're doing too much for ourselves. So they're telling us that Caribbean health officials and regional leaders held a crucial virtual meeting recently to discuss escalating health challenges, the surge in mpox, this is the new name for monkeypox, malaria, dengue fever, among other things. This is this iteration of this iteration of the preparatory meeting has been chaired by Dr. Andy Sinhilaire, a very renowned physician in his own right. And of course, they want to see how they can address these issues in a proactive way. That's where we should be heading, and that's what we don't see locally. Everything seems to catch us by surprise, like the opening of a school called the Ministry of Education by surprise. So we're happy that this kind of confab is happening. It means it can only augur well for every citizen of the Caribbean. That's why we wanted to stick this in here, because some very important issues going to be discussed at this conference. And we know it's not often we think about things in these terms, but I wanted to signal that very, 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 very important conference happening here in this regard, and we're watching it from our end, folks. We're watching it. Look what else happening. You know, we're advantaging some people in this country. We're advantaging. Am I there? Yeah. We're advantaging some folks in this country. One thing to the next. We're advantaging a lot of people in this country. Who vex? There, we said it. Who vex? We advantaging. Look, as I said with the truck, folks, this government, this installed regime, somebody just get emotionally distressed there. This installed regime, these jagabats and trench crapos, I talk with them at the top, who making all sorts of decisions, all of a sudden self. Jagabatical behavior, them is who we talk about. Look, like those truck people, right? If what they say is true, all of these thousands of land and homes and so on that the government giving out, if what they're purporting to be true, Why would people have to go squatting? Huh? Why would people have to go squatting in this country? They're saying at phase 4 millions wide. People are either squatting there, or there's evidence people are preparing to squat there. If all these houses and land, they said 40,000, over 50,000 house lots already given out, how come the people in phase 4 gotta go and squat there? How come? And then the ministry is saying now, if the folks go and squat there, they're gonna have to come and break down the place. We're advantaging people in this country. We are advantaging people in this country. I gotta go there and talk to some of these folks in phase 4. Right? I gotta go and talk to some of these folks there. Gotta get head up to my born tongue. Talk with some of my countrymen there. You know, we saw this dismantling of people's homes in Amelia's ward before. We saw it at Hillfoot. We see that success. We saw that Cane View Mucker. If people have access to land, as this government wants to tell us, they have this fantabulous housing policy. Why people got to do things like this? Make it make sense for us. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. We're advantaging people in this country. We're advantaging. We are advantaging people. As only here, look, story. I am so happy. I got some fellow influencers out there. I'm so happy for that. Because you get your news faster through the influencers. My brother from another mother, Bork, and you got my other brother, Mark Benchcup. You got my sister, Melly Mel. Right? They said it's Sue me and she. Right? Melly Mel at the break. Enjoy. So many other folks like Paul Slow. Faster than you can get things from Cranticle or DP Higher. One of them places, Hensy Hen. You get it out there. And it's on one of these pages, I think we saw first, that an 11-year-old was at a Georgetown hospital and had just given birth via C-section. What kind of jagabatical thing happening? And everybody rests down has said that's normal in this country. Normal. Huh? You always got to get somebody who whistleblowing, because these ministries don't have press conferences with any regularity. The minister could have told us that. If they had regular press conferences, look, we've just stumbled on a case here. A young lady has been brutally raped, 11-year-old, she's pregnant, about to give whatever the story might be. Now the minister got to run out and do damage control. It's months ago, we came under this case. We stumbled on this case, and it's being looked at. That's what she said. You know, Vindia vicious. People don't run from good, and Prima, group the right, run and left Vindia. When Prima see the foolishness of doing it, she gone to Jerry. I like how she went and usurped the girl thing and so on, the whole debacle there. But she run and left Priya. People don't. She run and left Vindia. People don't run from good. There's a lot of nonsense happening at this ministry. That's why the people write the letter saying that the president must get rid of India. On the surface, India's a thing. But them is them colorful little snakes that is bite hot. You gotta watch. She's like that's a simile. Like an ass. One of them colorful snakes. Don't make joke with them. So they run out now to say that the case is being looked at. And don't reveal the young lady's face and all that. I agree with that part. Right? Don't reveal it. They like cover down. They like cover down. They don't like to expose things. That's the tragedy we have here. They don't like expose things, so they're trying to cover this down now. 11-year-old, they gotta stretch him wide and hang him high. 11-year-old pregnant? Madness, folks. People do something to your kids. You're not going somewhere for them, You all know, what we mean in the streets. People want to do some things to your kids. You gotta go somewhere for them. God damn it. And then people want to keep it in the hush hush. And the damn laws of this world. Hush, 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 hush. Moving on, folks. Let's wrap it up. I tell you, y'all boy had press conference. I ain't showing a video. But he total and completely fed up. Pack of lies. And again, I'm surprised at our journalists not going to these press conferences better prepared. I remember when I studied journalism, finished my course at UG at the undergraduate level, the things that drill down in you, drill down, be prepared for these meetings and your press conferences and that kind of stuff. And how you prepare for it, doing your research. Like here, I feel like we just roll over and come out to bed and land and say, "Good morning, VP." You just wonder who, where, what, and when. You're moving on from there. You aren't bringing nothing to the table. This thing deteriorating. This thing deteriorating badly. Badly. A number of things. He said I ain't showing one one video. I'm not showing I have to censor myself there. I ain't showing one video. He said the consultants are here from the American Exim Bank looking at the gas ashore project, and the funding should be approved. We're waiting to see. 4 years in. 4 years in. Nothing doing for the gas ashore project. 4 years in. They said they're going to fund it themselves. If the Exim Bank don't come through, if the Exim Bank don't come through, they're going to fund it themselves. Yep. This, every pundit, every person in this area has said this thing here got all the makings of skeleton, skeleton 2.0, but not them. You see, brighter than all them people, brighter than all them people. Here lie here now. For the longest while, they're saying, for the longest while, over 200 taxes. 200 taxes, he said. Up new, put on the Guyanese people. Right? Now he bump it up to 3. You see the GMC story? You see that GMC story with the Shannon lad? He got teeth. He got teeth. The amount of things they're doing out here, folks, for distraction. The amount of things they did to their loan to kerfuffle you is now 350. 350 taxes. The man can lie. Lie for so. You know what we've been asking? Publish the list. When he said it was 200, we said, "Oh, Jagdeo, to make a long story short, just publish the list of the 200 tax." He always had binders of information now on the desk, like he's a brick. Binders flipping through pages, flipping through a lot of pages. Oh, publish the whole list of 200. He bump it up to 300 now. Bump it up to 300. Yeah, bump it up. We gotta flush out Angela Abrams. We gotta flush out this lying nature from the VP. We gotta flush it. Flush it out. That's the whole press conference right there, He bump it up now. It's not 200 no more, right? In the 4th year, heading into election season, he said, "Oh, we did make a mistake. Like the Swan Health Center, it's not really 40 million. It's not really 40 million for the one-room flat house. It's 20 now. It's half of that. We make a mistake. It wasn't 200. It was 350. Publish the list, the man Jagdeo. Publish the list. Please and thank you. Publish the list. Please and thank you." Moving on, folks. Moving on. We hurry for come off the program. Moving on. God of mercy. Man, like when harsh. Shut it. You know the whole story. Finally, folks. Finally. You see one evidence of corruption from Nigel News. You see, Nigel has talked about corruption broadly. Broadly. He now wants evidence. Evidence of corruption. Yeah. He will know corruption if it meet in a living room. You know? If it meet in a living room. Right? So he makes all the arrangements. Oh, so he wants evidence. I tell you what the fella said. I want lie money. I don't.
All this. Sue deals with all the agreements. I don't.
I understand. I understand.
The thing is that my thing is that I am in government,
I understand.
so I assist from government side. That's it.
Sue interjected, telling us this wasn't the place to talk about the bribe.
因為佢由頭都係啦係啦，即係我要知道，即係啲錢係入咗佢嗰度先得㗎。如果唔係，
Yeah, you see what evidence? He wouldn't evidence of corruption if he bucks in the face. He wouldn't. He wouldn't do it. Folks, that being said, that's our time tonight. That's our time tonight. Wicked, stinking, dirty. That's them boys for you. That's our time tonight. Get right so fast. And that's our program. I tell you all the time with Linden, didn't I? We spoke to the mayor this morning on poorly executed projects, corruptionism, friends, family, and favorites, nepotism, marginalization, victimization in the mining tongue. I'm going to go back to my born tongue and talk some more with them because I'm trying with the folks there at the Millions Ward and hear a whole host of other things happening in the mining tongue. We're going to stay on top of it. Folks, we'll take our leave there for this evening, good folks. Y'all pray for this country. You're people of faith out there. Pray for this country. I beg of you. I beg of you. We beg of you. Pray for your country. We're going to leave it there, folks, this evening. That being said, that's our time tonight. And that's our program. That's our time, folks. And that's our program. We bid you a very good evening. Thanks for joining us this evening. All of you from the many places you have joined us from. Yeah, we're going to ring the bell one time for all of you who joined us this evening. Dolly and Andrew and Siobhan. Debbie Collins, Bantu King. Yep. I see you there, Bantu King. Bantu says a time for action, not faith. I say both. I say both of it. Faith and action, unstoppable. Winella Garnett and Edward and Jamal and Onessa, Dolly and all you folks. Rhonda, Eva Mathis, good to see all of you on the live. Jamal and I see Edward there too. Michelle, Obi Chester, good to have all of you on the live. And just because you all are so special, you get another ring. That's our time for this evening, folks. That's our time for this evening. And that's our program. Stay safe.